What's good, y'all? Last season, the Indiana Pacers finished off their season with a record of 35-47, which was good to put them at the 11th seed, 5 games back from the play-in tournament. You might be thinking, why are you saying that? The Pacers weren't supposed to be a good team. They end up missing the playoffs, missing the play-in. That was expected, right? Which, yes, it was expected for them to be not good. But they were a top 5 seed at one point during last season, and then Tyrese Haliburton got hurt. Last season was Haliburton's first full season with the Pacers since he got traded over there from the Kings, and it was expected for him to kind of, it's a growing year, of course, but, still propel them up, maybe to snag that play-in spot. It didn't end up happening, though. As I said, he got injured, and they fell very far into the standings, and they ended up just showing themselves as an up-and-coming young team, but it's not their turn yet. The Pacers were not content just being the young team waiting for their turn, though. They went into this offseason, and they spent big money, traded away players, traded for players. They drafted well. They made a lot of moves around the edges to really bolster up this roster and try to make that playoff push. I would imagine that the Pacers rotation would look something along these lines. Of course, you have the star of the show, Tyrese, with Buddy Hield in their backcourt as well. The new free agent signee, Bruce Brown, sliding into that small forward spot right next to number 8 overall pick, Jarace Walker, with Miles Turner holding it down low at the center position. And then with the bench, we got TJ McConnell and Andrew Nembhard as the guards. And then in the front court, you have all-rookie team member Benedict Mathurin, Obi Toppin, who they just traded for this past offseason, and then Isaiah Jackson. Real quick too, I wouldn't be too surprised if on that bench unit, just to get more spacing and stuff, they put Jordan Nwora in there instead of TJ McConnell and just slided Andrew Nembhard and Ben just up a position, run Andrew Nembhard at backup point guard, Benedict Mathurin at shooting guard, and then just slide in Jordan Nwora. Again, that could be what they do just for more shooting, or they could go the route that was on the video with TJ McConnell running point guard. Regardless though, the addition that I wanted to highlight first was Bruce Brown, NBA champion Bruce Brown coming over, signing the massive contract. I'm not going to speak on if that contract was worth it. It is a short 2-year deal, so if it's not worth it, it's not hurting them down the line too far into the future. I really like what Bruce brings to this team, that veteran leadership, the champion DNA. He knows what it takes to win. Bruce Brown is like the definition of a winning basketball player, just to do whatever you need. He just brings a lot of versatility to the wing for the Pacers. He improved his 3-point shot. He's a good secondary playmaker. Maybe in a bench unit, he'll be running that next to Andrew Nembhard or something like that. He can run that, secondary playmaker role. Of course, the defense, which I think is what he's most known for, his defense, those big, long arms. Indiana's defense was not that good last season, so it makes sense they're bringing in Bruce Brown to try to help that up. Also makes sense on why they used their number 8 overall pick on Jarace Walker, who's regarded as a very good defender, one of the best defenders in this draft class. On top of that, they also brought in Obi Toppin because last season they had 0 power forwards. They had Jalen Smith, but he wasn't even getting a lot of PT because he wasn't playing well. The Pacers worked hard to get more talent surrounding Tyrese Haliburton. Here you can see the stats for Tyrese's first All-Star season. In 56 games for the Pacers, he put up 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 10.5 assists. High efficiencies with low turnovers. He also has a steal and a half on there. Just all around incredible numbers for the young guard. I mentioned before that the Pacers were a top 5 seed at one point right before Tyrese Haliburton got hurt. That should show you how well the All-Star played this season. They had a record of 22-18 before Rese got hurt, which is a win percentage of 55%. And then for the rest of the season after that point, they went 13-29, which is a 40 win percentage. You could see the steep drop off right there. Tyrese is one of the most pure playmakers that are in this league right now. He is one of the best. He unofficially, because he didn't play enough games, unofficially was second in assists per game this year, and one of 3 players total in the whole league that averaged double-digit assists. The other 2 were James Harden, who led the league, and Trae Young. When Tyrese is on the court, his first read is, all right, who am I passing the ball to? Who is going to be open in this moment? Whether that is just a cross-court kick out to Buddy Hield that's sitting in the corner, or, Bruce Brown now, he'll hit a cut and just hit him on a bounce pass, just slick right down there. Pick and rolls with Miles Turner or Obi Toppin. Jarace Walker, when he's driving hard to the basket, just dump it down right there on him going on the cut. He just will look for every single person on the court, and his first read is, all right, let me help my teammates score. Second read, though, is to score, and he can do that himself, too. Tyrese has made himself more of a threat on the drive this season. He's getting to the rim more often, and when he gets there, he is finishing at the rim more often as well at a higher percentage. 6'5" for a point guard is pretty big, and that's what he is. So him getting to the rim, using that size to his advantage is definitely helping him out. But don't forget, he still is a 40% three-point shooter. He can really knock down that shot. I was listening to the Through the Wire podcast, shout out to them, and they were talking about how Tyrese is one of the most prolific transition players in the NBA, and that shows because last year the Pacers had the 4th best pace in the whole league at 101. He plays super fast, whether it's just getting the rebound and just launching it up court, those football touchdown passes they call it, just across court getting it out, or just looking for the outlet guy to just send it down. Like, they play fast and concise, just get out there and go. And I think their front court additions are going to be able to fit in just right. And here are the stats for the 2 athletic power forwards the Pacers brought in this season. Of course, with Tyrese Walker only being a rookie, these are his stats from college, averaging 11 points and 7 rebounds. But what he got drafted for mostly was his defense, averaging a full steal and almost a block and a half also. And in limited minutes for the Knicks last season, Obi put up 7.5 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. As many of you guys know, I am a Knicks fan, so when Obi got traded, it was very bittersweet. He's one of my favorite players on the Knicks, or was one of my favorite players on the Knicks. I have his jersey, just anytime he was on the court, the garden was just popping. But also at the same time, he has more of a chance to play more minutes and have more of a role over there in Indiana. Will he start though? I'm not sure, since they did draft Tyrese Walker. It depends on what look they really want to go for, in my opinion, because Tyrese Walker is definitely way more defense. Obi is definitely way more offense. It's just which way they want their lineup to go in. I've said this before, but I'm not too much of an NCAA basketball guy, so what I like to do is just wait till they get drafted, and then I'll do my deep dive on them. And with Tyrese Walker right here, man, he is a defensive monster. He is super versatile because he's got that big 6'8" frame, that strong 6'8" frame, long arms. I think it was like a 7'2" wingspan or something like that. So he can guard those bigger guys, those power forwards, and maybe some small ball center-ish type of guys. But then also his athleticism allows him to guard point guards and shooting guards and small forwards. I really think that in the long run, later down in his career, maybe after a year or two, he will be able to guard 1 through 5. And then on the flip side, like I said, Obi's definitely more offensive. With the Knicks last season, he was definitely misused. They used him as a spot-up shooter, basically. Sometimes he would cut and get the lobs and whatever. But a lot of the times, they would just have him sit there and he would shoot. And props to Obi, because he did improve his three-point shooting a lot from the last few years he was playing. But still, he's athletic. He likes to go out there and run, do the cuts and stuff like that. Having a point guard, pass-first point guard like Tyrese Haliburton, definitely going to benefit Obi. Maybe they can get him in some more pick-and-roll actions, because for some reason he didn't do too much of that with the Knicks. He likes to get out in transition, like I said, with their fast pace with Indiana. I cannot even imagine how many times Tyrese is just going to go like this, and Obi's going to be wide open for a windmill, through the legs, whatever it is, the flash dunks he likes to do. Indiana didn't just improve with their new additions, though. They have potential to grow more from the inside as well, as they are such a young team. The Pacers had one of the top draft classes last season, bringing in Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin from the draft. Snagging Nembhard in the second round, he put up 9.5 points, 3 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. Meanwhile, their lottery pick, Benedict Mathurin, off the bench, gave them 17 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist and a half. Now, I know these two guys play very different, but I do want to just point out a few different similarities between them, and just hear me out on these. Both of these guys are positionally versatile. Andrew Nembhard is a combo guard, main position being shooting guard, but also while Tyrese was out with injuries last season, he was able to run that point guard position. And then with Benedict Mathurin, he's kind of a tweener between a shooting guard and a small forward, but he could play both of them. He's big enough to be that small forward, but also is athletic enough and quick enough to run that 2-guard position. So it just gives them a lot of different lineups that they could look at. They also both are really good at getting to the rim and finishing at the rim. Benedict Mathurin, that's pretty much how he got all of his points last season. He averaged 17 points per game off the bench, getting to the rim, basically. And finally, they both have the same step that they need to take in order to, reach that next jump, get over the next hump for them both personally as players, and then also the Indiana Pacers as a team to elevate up. And it's to learn how to shoot the ball more efficiently. Unless you're a center now in this league, you need to know how to knock down an open 3-point shot, or else you're not going to be able to play in the playoffs. It's really as simple as that. If teams know you can't shoot, they will just help all the way off you and let you shoot your team out the game. And let me tell you, if these guys come into next season and just even shoot like 36% from three, oh my God, this team is just completely different. That kind of smoothly transitions into my one real kind of caveat with this team though, is the three-point shooting. You know, you have obviously Buddy Hield, who's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Tyrese Haliburton, 40% shooter. Miles Turner, for his position, is an above-average shooter. Beyond that, though, they really don't have a lot of guys that can space the floor. That kind of goes back to when I alluded about with the depth charts of Jordan Nwora playing, because he finished the season out shooting incredible for the Pacers last season. You know, maybe they play him just to get just more spacing on the team. Maybe they make some trades to get more shooting on the team. I don't really know. Regardless, though, it is time to give my final prediction, and I'm not going to do an exact seeding or exact record or anything like that. That's going to come later on in the offseason when I do my full, breakdown and predictions for the entire league. Right now, though, I see the Indiana Pacers as being anywhere as high as the 5th seed and as low as the 9th seed. I think they are playing lock, and then maybe they can even jump over a bunch of teams and make it all the way out of the play-in. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments down below. Also, let me know if there's a specific team or player that you want me to break down and talk about and stuff like that. You know, I'm trying to build a big community here with a lot of different people. You know, we've gotten a lot of growth recently, and I've been trying to interact with as many of you guys as I can. So if you have anything you want me to talk about, leave it down low in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.